Everything I ate at a night market in Thailand. The whole market smelled like a deep fried heaven. They had way too many options. I was overwhelmed, but this fried squid looked really good, and it came with this like tangy sauce. It was super tender actually, and the inside was so soft. I don't know why I wasn't expecting it to like melt in my mouth, but anyway, I also saw these massive chicken skewers that were smothered in this like sweet spicy sauce, and it definitely had a kick, but the chicken itself was also really flavorful and like smoky. And the sauce got all over my lips, so they got all like tingly, and they also had these cream rolls with like different fillings. So this one was filled with Oreo crumbles, and the wrapping on the outside was so light too. It like dissolves when you bite it. And the cream filling wasn't too sweet, just super fluffy. And then this one had this super sugary, fruity blueberry filling. And yeah, they were just so light. Then we did some exploring, and I found this lady cooking this massive pot of deep fried fish balls, which I've never tried before. And they came with this like thick sugary sauce. And you guys, they were so good, so puffy and warm, not too fishy at all. And they went really well with like the crunchy veggies. I don't know how I've never tried them before. And anyway, if you saw yesterday's video, you know I had to do it. I had to eat a scorpion. I was just so curious. And he seasoned it really well too. It was like salty and kind of garlicky, and definitely a little too crunchy for me personally, but not too bad at all. It had like a kind of beef jerky flavor. And anyway, that's all for today. My first time trying a scorpion. I'm like never scared to try food, but oh, it smells good. The seasoning is delicious. People are looking. No, there's like meat in the body. It's kind of like jerky. It's like beef flavored. Honestly, like it's pretty good flavor wise. Now we gotta try claw. Very crunchy. The body is better. Everything I ate on my first day in Thailand. I've never had a floating breakfast before, but look at how freaking gorgeous. All of the fruit was like so fresh. And I haven't had a pomelo since I left China. They're so good. They're like big grapefruits. And this papaya was the juiciest, sweetest, softest fruit. It literally melted in my mouth. I also had to get a Thai iced tea, of course. And then we went to the beach, and for lunch, they had all these like local restaurants right on the water. And you guys, this pad Thai was $3. I added all the spices, and the noodles are just like so soft, and the bean sprouts are so crunchy, and it's like nutty and tangy and just literally the best thing ever. I also got pineapple fried rice with these really big tender prawns, and the pineapples were so sweet. It also had cashews and this like really great curry flavor, like so many textures too with the calamari. And of course, I had to get a papaya salad that was so fresh and really spicy, and it had this like yummy, really fresh lime flavor. And we were gonna go into town for dinner, but I was so wiped from a travel day and a beach day, so we chilled at the restaurant in front of our villa, which had burgers. So I got this surf and turf burger that had 2 Angus patties, barbecue tiger prawns, and this really spicy cocktail sauce. It was super cheesy, and it also had gherkins, which is like my favorite word. Also, I tried my boyfriend's chicken bacon burger that was really crispy, and it had this like creamy sriracha mayo. And don't worry, I'm still gonna hit up all the night markets and the street food stalls while I'm here, but that's all for today. A day in the life of a singer on a luxury cruise ship. There's only a few days left in my contract, and I wanted to show you guys my favorite place on the ship. So it's kind of a secret, but at the end of my hallway, there's this door that leads to this whole top deck that like no guest can access, and no crew really ever come up here either, so it's perfect when you need a little escape. Anyway, after my morning duties, I did my last load of laundry so I can pack, and I live all the way up on deck 6, and then the crew laundry room is down on deck 2 and on the other side of the ship, so it's a little bit of a walk, but there's only 2 washers and dryers. If someone else is using them, you literally just have to come back later, but I lucked out today, and it's free to use the machine. You just have to bring your own detergent. Anyway, then it was time to pack. Packing is always like the worst part of the contract, but I got it done in a few hours. And then it was time to head to the theater for my last show on this stage, so I wanted to show you guys like my favorite song that I sing.
Don't tell me not to fly, I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Who told you you're allowed to rain on my parade? I watch my band out, I'll be my drum, and if I'm banned out.
And I'm actually signing off and debarking the ship tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And that's all for today. My last day in the life of a singer on a luxury cruise ship. All right, so we finally performed our last show, and afterwards we had a little farewell party with the guests, but really we just goofed around the whole time because we were way too excited. Then our cruise director brought us some bubbles, and we had like a mini farewell cast party. It's always sad to say goodbye, but also so exciting to see what's next. Then I brought my suitcases down to be inspected by security, and they have to stay there overnight, and then we get them the next morning when we bring the rest of our bags down. We had to be out of our rooms by 8 a.m. So you guys, they gave us a guest suite for the day, like till our passports are through immigration. And this is as small as the guest suites get, but they still all have their own balconies. And I think my favorite part was the bathroom. Like, this is huge for a cruise ship. And then we just like chilled in here till our immigration was done. And it was finally time to say goodbye to the ship. You guys, we disembarked in Bali though. So we headed to this villa that my friends and I rented for a few days. And this 5-bedroom villa is only $300 a night. It's even got a private pool and a butler who made us all drinks when we got there. So I'm excited. And that's all for today. Everything I ate on my last day in Indonesia. For brunch, we went to this cool restaurant where you have to take your shoes off before you go inside. And it was such a vibe. We got these gorgeous portobello ginger baos that were so soft. And the filling was a little sweet. And these dumplings were huge. They were also filled with ginger and crunchy veggies. And they came with that delicious sweet thick soy sauce. And then just look at this gorgeous dragon bowl. So it had dragon fruit, jackfruit, papaya, their house-made granola, and goji berries. It was like so many textures and flavors. Also, it was so filling. And since it was our last night in our beautiful villa, they made us this huge barbecue dinner. Oh my gosh, the satay smelled so good. And there were only 8 of us, but they kept bringing more and more food. These ribs were so tender and like smothered in sauce. And they made these pork sausages that had the crispiest outsides and then just like melted in your mouth. And in Bali, when you cook something in banana leaves, it's called tum. And honestly, I didn't know what kind of meat this was, but it was like really rich. And these hairy little fruits are called rambutans. They're like lychee, like super sweet. And finally, I had a red dragon fruit, which is my favorite. It's so juicy. And that's all for today. Everything I ate in the Bali International Airport. There's something about airport food in Asia. Like, I swear there's always a million different options. They had Korean fried chicken. And why is it always the crispiest, like most flavorful thing? It's so juicy and you can't go anywhere in Indonesia without chili sauce. It's so thick and sweet and adds that perfect little kick. And just look at these gorgeous fried noodles. I think they were called kapong noodles, but the sauce was like so unique, like almost caramelized. It had this like nutty charred flavor and the crunchy veggies with the soft eggs. Then on my way to the gate, I saw a Vietnamese place that had butter chicken banh mi, so I literally couldn't resist, and like the soft fluffy baguette just soaked up that butter chicken. And it definitely wasn't quite as good as butter chicken from an Indian place, but I love the idea. They also had a bunch of spring rolls, so I got these pork and prawn ones, and the pork was actually like so tender. The wrapping was super soft too, but so soft it like fell apart, and I ended up just kind of eating it like a salad. And this prawn one was so good. The prawns were so fresh and they were really big. It was like a lot of meat. And anyway, that's all for today. Everything I ate at Burger King in Thailand. They had a taro corn pie. I literally saw it through the window and I had to come in because I love the taro pies. They're like so thick and not too sweet. And the corn actually added some sweetness and like a little juicy crunch. I don't know, I liked it. And the crust is always perfectly crispy. They also had a black truffle Swiss burger and I wasn't expecting the truffle flavor to be so intense. It was also super cheesy and the burger had kind of like a smoky flavor. But yeah, like really rich and salty. But I was most excited for this tom yum fried chicken. The first bite was almost citrusy and then the spice like builds over time and it was honestly some of the spiciest fried chicken I've ever had, but also really flavorful and it actually did taste like tom yum. They also had hash browns all day that were really nice and salty and I tried them with a sweet chili sauce that was so thick and sugary I literally couldn't stop eating them. And these nuggets said they were tempura fried and I guess maybe they were a little crispier than McDonald's nuggets, but the barbecue sauce was nice and tangy. And I wanted to see if large drink sizes are different here and not really, like still pretty massive. But that's all for today. Everything I ate for $12 in Indonesia. For breakfast, we went to this cafe overlooking these gorgeous rice fields and I got this halo halo for 98 cents and it had these like super sweet mango chunks and dragon fruit and these chewy jellies and this really creamy ice cream on top. And they also kept bringing us these like deep fried crackers with crunchy peanuts that were actually so filling and free. Then we did some exploring and later for lunch I found this $2 soto ayam, which is this like noodle soup and it came with sambal that adds that extra kick. Also it had a bunch of crunchy mung beans and an egg and the vermicelli noodles are so light so you can like eat the whole thing and not feel too full. So I also got some satay. You already know how obsessed I am with satay sauce, but it also came with prawn crackers that are seriously underrated. They're so crunchy. And then I kind of forgot about dinner, so later I ordered takeout and I got this mee goreng for only $2.95. It came with sambal kicap, which is that like thick sweet soy sauce with chilies. It's sugary, it's salty, it's spicy, and this Balinese curry was $3.30 and the coconut milk made it so creamy and the chicken was really juicy too. And again, the spices are like so complex, like the flavor is incredible. And finally, I added a spring roll for 66 cents. It was deep fried to perfection and all in all, I spent $12.19. So that's all for today. Only eating street food for a full day in Indonesia. For breakfast, I was craving eating noodles, I got this bakmi ayam richa, which are these like springy egg noodles with spicy Indonesian chicken. Of course, I added extra chili oil because I'm addicted, and the chicken was like so garlicky. It also came with a dumpling that literally melted in my mouth, and chicken balls. The texture of these is so unique. You literally just have to try them. They're so bouncy. I also got these super thin, crunchy fried dumplings with chili sauce, and they were so sweet. Maybe the crispiest dumplings I've ever had. I also tried this Indonesian sarsaparilla soda, which kind of tasted like root beer. It had so much flavor too. And then I went to a warung, which are these like small family-owned shops that sell local foods like nasi campur. So these places are everywhere, and y'all, the food is so good. You pick what you want, and I got the spicy and the sweet chicken with sambal that's like so hot, but also packed with flavor. It's like garlicky and gingery, and it came with an egg and these crunchy veggies. And then for dinner, I went to another warung that specialized in roti and martabak, which are these like omelet pancakes. And I got one with chicken that came with this super tangy curry dip that just like hits your mouth with heat. I also got this chocolate cinnamon roti with ice cream on top that was actually like so creamy. And the cinnamon added a lot of complexity to the sweet chocolatey roti. And that's all for today.